Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 19 of Gratitude Yoga Challenge. Don't be afraid to shine. So for today's class, if you have a strap or a belt, you can bring that to class. A block or a thick book would be fantastic. If you don't have these things, don't worry about it. You'll still be able to do it. See you then on the mat. So welcome everybody to day 19 of Gratitude Yoga Challenge. Don't be afraid to shine. And when I think of that, I think of that saying, you know how it goes? We are more afraid of our greatness than being small. We're more afraid of our greatness than being small. So let's open up our hands, open up to that greatness within us and allow it. Just feel your heart and chest expand as you open up your hands. And let's bring our hands in front of our hearts and we'll open with one Om. Take a deep inhale. Softly bowing our heads towards our hearts. Allowing any small thoughts of ourselves to melt into the unconditional love of your heart. Deep inhale, long exhale. Let's open up our hands. So we're going to come onto all fours. Have your block and your strap nearby. Rooting palms into the earth, knees a little bit behind the hips. Let's curl the toes under. Let's take a couple of breaths as we move into cat and cow. Inhale, softening the heart towards the earth. Exhaling, pulling the navel in, pushing hands into the earth and arching your back. Inhale, softening the heart and expanding. Exhale, releasing all the air, pulling navel into the back body. Continue in your own rhythm for a couple more rounds. Connecting to the flow of your breath coming in and out. Come back with the hips to the heels, palms to the earth, forehead to the earth, hips resting back on the heels. Bring your awareness in the center of your chest as you take a deep inhale, envisioning a beautiful bright light expanding like the sun. Exhaling, softening the shoulders and the back body as you begin to dissolve, softening the edges around the heart as you soften into the earth for a couple more breaths. Fully accepting, fully loving yourself in this very moment. Accepting your greatness. And as we go through our practice today, thoughts of smallness, breathe them out. And inhale light. Exhaling, releasing, letting go of any thoughts that don't support us, that don't support us connecting to our greatness. Inhale, come to all fours. Extend the right hand out and extend the left leg out. Lengthen and reach. Shine from the heart out. Release that hand. Let's do the opposite. Left hand, right leg. Expand out. And let's come back. We're going to come on to, we're going to lift our knees. Just use our core muscles. So come on to curl your toes under. Inhale, press hands into the earth and lift the knees, connecting to our core strength. And release down. Take a breath before we do another one. Inhale, lift the knees, press hands into the earth. Now shift the hips back, press hands into the floor, pushing the tops of the thighs back, coming into a downward facing dog. Inhale, walking the feet towards the top of your mat. Hands to your hips and rise up. So let's come with our feet a little wider than our hips. Moving with the breath, I'm going to swing back and forth a little bit. Softening in the shoulders. Getting a little movement in the hips. The breath is smooth. Use your Ujjayi breath if you like. Inhale, light. Exhaling, light. Inhaling love into your body. Exhaling love into your world. Okay, let's come back. So feet, make them a little wider than the hips now. You're going to inhale, reach up with the hands. Expand up into every direction from the heart. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands like you're scooping the earth and coming up. With an inhale and exhale down. So moving with the breath. Your fingertips might touch the earth or they might not. Just come down into the hips as low as it feels comfortable for you. We'll do a couple of rounds of this. Inhale and drawing up, drawing energy up to the sky. Coming down, gathering energy, pressing feet into the earth and rising up like the sun. Using Ujjayi breath, connecting movement and breath. One last round. Wonderful. So let's take our hands. Actually, we're going to first take our block. So you're going to take the block or your thick book in between the thighs. So if you don't have one, it's okay. You know how we imagine that you have a block. Sometimes I say, imagine you have a block. So imagine that you have one. Or you can even have a thick towel in between. So you're going to take your hands to the hips, hug to the midline. You're using your block to be able to engage to the core even more so. If you don't have it, imagine that you do. Shoulders up and back. Stick the hips out. Draw the tailbone down. Pull the abdominal muscles up. You can feel your navel pulling up as you drop the tailbone down. Let's bring our hands in front of us. Hook the thumbs. Draw shoulders back. Sit down a little bit more as you squeeze the block. Open up the heart. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, we're going to bring our hands down and then bend the knees, bow forward. Grab the elbows, keeping the engagement as you hug the block. You're going to rock back and forth, pulling one elbow to one side, one to the other side, and moving with the breath, creating some nice, big, long movements from one side to the other as we open up the side body. Now hang in the middle. Maybe you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Deep inhale. Exhale, softening forward. We're going to do quite a few
forward folds today. They're very calming for the nervous system and the mind. Working towards Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold towards the end of our practice. So let's take the hands to our hips, bend the knees. Draw shoulders up and back, guiding from the heart as you rise up. Wonderful. So we're going to keep holding to our block here, to the midline. Clasp hands behind the back. Press the hands into your sacrum as you squeeze shoulder blades onto the back. Pull the abdominal muscles in and up as you lift in the heart here for a little heart opening back bend. Now, with the next inhale, if you can, straighten the arms out. Exhale, bring the hands to the sacrum. So in the meantime, hug your block, connecting to your core. And now inhale, press the hands out. And then drawing the hands towards the sacrum. Inhale, the hands out. So you can stay here, or if you can bow forward, hugging your block, arms up towards the sky. Maybe your hands are still on your sacrum, that's okay. Let's stay here for another breath. The more you squeeze the block, you might find that you have more length in the spine to bow forward a little deeper, a little more freedom in the spine. And now release the hands, take them to your hips, draw shoulders up and back, press feet into the earth and rise up. Beautiful. Let's move the block to the side. Come standing hip width apart. We're going to take our right foot forward, right hand to your right hip, and extend this left arm up for a wonderful stretch. And let's come back. Left leg crosses over the right. Bending this front knee, extend the right arm up and over for a wonderful whole side stretch on the right side of the body. And let's come back. Coming standing in your Tadasana, feet are rooted into the earth. They're about inner hip width apart. Imagine you're holding onto your block here, your imaginary block, isometrically drawing the thighs together, pulling kneecaps up with strong thighs. Inhale, lengthening all the way to the crown of the head. So let's take our hands to our hips, shift to our left leg. And we're going to come into tree pose, Vrikshasana. So we've been practicing our balance in tree pose lately. So you can have a couple options, foot on the floor as you press the foot into the bottom of the leg, or bring it to the top of the leg. And we'll push the foot into the earth. Hug your foot and thigh into each other like you're hugging your block. Drawing the tailbone down and the heart lifts. And let's bring our hands in front of our heart. Bring the hands up overhead if that works for you. Now we're going to do another variation. So you can stay with the hands in front of the heart or extend them out to the sides. So gaze one pointed in front of you, and we're going to practice moving the arms to one side. As you twist to one side, coming back, gazing one pointed in front of you. Don't move your head. That'll help you keep stability. And then move the arms to the other side and stretch out from the arms out. Come back, release, hands in front of our hearts. Connect to your stillness. There's nothing like balancing postures, tree posture, to shine out through the clouds. It just clears the clouds of the mind and brings your awareness in. Hands connecting to your heart, root the feet into the earth, hug to that imaginary block, draw tailbone down, belly in. Opposite leg, bring it to the thigh where you want to place it, hug to the midline, hands in front of the heart. You want to bring hands up overhead. Now find your still point. We call this drishti. And from inside out, you gaze outward, maintaining the inner and outer stillness. Now bring the hands down, stretching out.
And gaze one pointed as you move the arms to one side. And then come back. And gazing one point and move to the other side. And if we fall out, just come back in. Hands in front of the heart, and let's come out. Beautiful focus, everyone. Connect to your stillness. Close your eyes for a moment. Deep breath in, long breath out. Bring hands up overhead. Interlace fingers. You're going to release the pointer fingers as you stretch up with an inhale up. And then exhale, step your right foot in front of you. Gaze one point and maintain that focus. Root the right foot into the earth, just like we did with tree, hinging from our hips. And coming forward as much as you can. Maybe you extend the leg out behind you. For warrior three. And now let's come back. Maintaining our focus and awareness, hands in front of the heart, connect to your stillness. Remember, you fall out, come back. And we'll do the other side. Bring the arms up overhead again. Hug arms to the ears. Let's take the opposite leg forward, the right leg forward, gazing one pointed, hugging arms to the ears, hinging from your hips. Maybe your foot just lifts a little bit. Maybe it comes totally parallel to the earth. Lengthen from the heart out through the fingertips and out through the leg. Come back. Hands in front of the heart. Connect to your stillness. Notice how the mind becomes still when we do these balancing postures. Deep inhale, long exhale. Let's come down to the earth. So we're going to bring our right leg out. I'm going to come into Janu Shirshasana. So let's take the whole thigh. Remember how we rotate it out, pull the buttocks, the skin of the buttocks out, the left skin of the buttocks out. So you're on your sit bones. We're going to take our strap and place it underneath the foot. Take the strap with the left hand, right hand over to the right side. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. So let's take our right hand now and root your right thigh into the earth, and then lengthen through your spine a little more. Once you have that length, begin to bow forward, leading from the heart, hinging from your hips. Rounding, lengthening forward first. And once you come to your capacity, stay here and breathe. Focus on your Ujjayi breath. And then you can begin to soften forward and round forward a little more. If you have a block, maybe you take your forehead to the block here. If you can grab your foot, take the left hand outside of your right foot. Pull yourself forward and round forward. Maybe you take the other hand and grab the other side of the foot. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Stay at the best option for yourself. Forehead pulls towards the earth and the elbows up to the sky if you're grabbing your foot. 2 breaths. And rise up. Let's take our left hand behind us, right hand to the left knee. Lengthen up for a gentle twist. Keep the extended leg active. Wonderful. So let's do the other side. Left leg out, right foot, just press the foot into the leg, just like we did in Vrikshasana tree posture. So you hug the foot and the thigh into each other. You can do pull the buttocks of the skin out, get onto your sit bones, press hands into the earth behind you, lengthen through your spine. You even take your left hand and root that thigh into the earth and lengthen a little more. So let's take the strap to the foot, right hand to the strap, Lengthen and twist over to the left. So this might be the best option for you today. You might really be working on getting a dip in the lower back. This might be enough for your hamstring, so you could stay here. If you need to lift the hips up a little more on a blanket to try to create a little more freedom in that lower back, you can do that to create some more movement in the pelvis. Otherwise, take your left hand forward, hinging from the hips, pulling the heart forward. Taking a breath here. And then you can begin to bow if that's possible for you. You can put your head on the block or take your right hand outside of the left foot, lengthening yourself forward. Take the other hand, cross the foot, lift the elbows up, inhale, and exhale forward to the head towards the knee. Or maybe you're bringing your head toward a block. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhale, rise up. Left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you, lengthen up and a gentle twist. Keep the extended leg active by flexing the toes. Beautiful. Extend the legs out. Dandasana, staff pose. So you can stay here, lengthening up, or you can bring your hands behind, press fingers into the earth, shoulders roll up and back, lift the hips open and shoulders, and lengthen the head back. Come down to the floor. So now we're going to use a block. Just like we did earlier when we were doing a standing forward fold and holding, squeezing the block. So we're going to use the block to connect to the core energy to help open up the backs of the legs. And this also helps to create more freedom in the upper body as we stabilize in the hip girdle here. So if you have a blanket, lift your hips up on a blanket a little bit. Should have done that before. So your sit bones right on the edge of the blanket. You might even want a thicker blanket if you find if you can't sit up and you're rounding forward, then even give yourself a thicker blanket. You could even sit up on a block. Take the buttocks out, sitting on your sit bones. So let's bend the knees a little bit. Take the strap right below the balls of the toes. So we're going to press slowly our feet into the strap as we hold on to the straps. So let's not lean forward. Take a deep inhale, roll shoulders up and back, lengthen through the spine. Hug the block as you press the feet into the strap. Maybe you can press your legs straight, maybe not. But if you are pressing your legs straight and you end up rounding forward, then I prefer that you bend your knees and create that length in your spine. With shoulders up and back. So we're working on creating length in the back of the legs. And we're also working on strengthening our lower back muscles, hugging towards the midline with our block. We're strengthening our inner thighs, our hips here. So take a couple of breaths. Deep inhale, long exhale. And let's release. So let's come back onto our forearms, palms press into the earth. And let's open up in the chest as you press hands into the earth. Keep your chin to the chest here and expand. Point the toes, expand. If you want to release the head back, release the head back. Wonderful, releasing in the spine. We're going to take our feet together and place them on the outside of our block. We've done this before. Hands to your ankles, press feet into the block, knees push out and lengthen up through your spine. Take a couple of breaths here. If you can't hold your ankles, and take your hands behind and press them into the earth like this. Whatever is the best option for you. We're strengthening in here, opening inside of our inner thighs. Also, there's a strengthening of our outer hips. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, let's release. Shake out the legs. And now we're going to bring our block in between the thighs again. And if you have like a book or block that's too thin and it brings you too narrow, then you can try it at the shins. Maybe that works for you. I prefer it in between the thighs. So take the strap below the balls, the mound of the toes again. Inhale, lengthening up, shoulders up and back. Bend the knees, create that dip in the lower back. Now pull the belly in, shoulders up and back again. Lengthening from the tailbone to the crown of the head, and now begin to push the feet into the strap, but maintain the integrity of your length in the spine. This time, let's bend the knees a little bit and begin to pull your heart forward. Hinging from the hips, pulling the heart forward, maintain hugging your block. And release. Stretch out the legs. And we're going to come back again onto our forearms, hands press into the earth, roll shoulders up and back, point the toes, chin to the chest. This helps to neutralize the spine. And if you want to let the head go back, let the head go back. Wonderful. So we're going to come again to our Baddha Konasana. And this time we're not going to use the block. We're going to bring our feet together. Hands behind, lengthen up through the spine. Press feet into each other. Thighs move, energy moves out the thighs from the core. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Deep inhale, long exhale. If you can stay here, or if you want to take your hands to your ankles, you can do that. If you want to round forward, maybe forehead to the block or forehead to the earth, you can do that. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhale, rise up. Take the knees back, shake them out. All right, we're going to take our block in between the thighs. So let's readjust. Pull the skin of the buttocks out again. Sit bones are on the mat. Going to take the strap below the mounds of the big toes, shoulders up and back. Bend the knees a little bit. Engage those muscles in the lower back. And pull the abdomen in, the belly in, and lengthen up. With an inhale and an exhale, pulling your heart forward. So we're hinging with the hips as much as we can. And once you get to this place where you start to round forward, then just pause there. And if you can press the feet a little more into the strap and lengthen the legs, do that. And now begin to round forward. Keep hugging the block. Beginning to round forward. Maybe your hands grab your toes or they keep holding onto the strap. Lengthening yourself forward, rounding forward. Deep inhale, long exhale. Deep inhale, long exhale. So stay wherever you're at and breathe here. Two more breaths. Inhale, rise up. Come onto your back. Come on to the back, pull the knees in, and let's rock back and forth a little bit here. Bringing the shins together, legs up. Let
Both knees fall over to the right side. Press elbows into the earth. Get both shoulders on the mat. Gaze over to the left. Softening the shoulders to the earth. Opening to that greatness within you. And let's come back. Place the feet on the earth and shift the hips over to the other side. Lift the legs, keep the knees together and bring them over to the left. Press elbows into the earth, get shoulders flat on the earth and open up to the right. Deep inhale, long exhale. Release the hips and the legs, let them be heavy on the earth. Softening in the belly. Softening in the jaw. Breathe it out. Inhale, let's come back. Hug knees to the chest, extend the right leg up, clasp hands behind that right leg. Press the sole of the foot up to the sky and release that leg. Take the left knee, hug it in, extend the left leg up. If you need to keep the right knee bent, then do that. Extend the left leg up, press the thigh into the hands and release that leg. Lift shoulders, roll them up and back, palms up to the sky. And let everything go as you melt into the mat. And we'll stay in Shavasana for a minute. A meditation master, Baba Muktananda, in his book Resonate with Stillness wrote, "Ignore the clouds and look for the sun in their midst. As you concentrate on the light, your mind will also become peaceful." Focusing on that light within you, take a deep inhale. Long exhale, bending the knees, rolling over to one side, and we'll come meeting a meditation posture, and we'll sit for just a few minutes for meditation. Feeling rooted and heavy on the sit bones on the earth. If you want to place your hands on the thighs to root and inhale, lengthen through the spine. Hands on thighs are in your lap, connecting to your breath, allowing it to draw you inward towards your stillness, towards your greatness, towards your inner light. We'll stay here for a minute.
Bringing your awareness to your breath, basking in your inner light. Let's open up our hands, bring them in front of our hearts in the Anjali Mudra, and we'll close with one Om. Take a deep inhale. From my greatness to your greatness, namaste. Well, thank you everybody for showing up and shining your light and not being afraid to shine on the mat today. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. May you all have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, and don't be afraid to shine.